It's time for today's Legal Minute with the Law Office of Cooley Shrair in Springfield. We're joined by attorney Don McDonald. We're talking about what happens to retirement funds if a divorce happens. So where do they go? What happens to those retirement funds?
Well, retirement funds are generally placed into two categories, those that were acquired before the divorce and those that were acquired during the divorce. So if retirement funds were acquired during the marriage, those become a marital asset that's subject to division.
Okay.
Now, if a retirement fund is acquired before the marriage, it's not generally subject to division. However, the growth of that account during the marriage does become subject to division.
I get it. Now let's break it down maybe with a little bit of math, because that's tricky to understand.
So I can give you an example. Suppose you got married and you already had a retirement account with $100,000 in it. Then you get married, and then so many years later, you get divorced. But between that time, you put into your retirement account another $100,000, and let's say it earned another $50,000 of interest or what have you. So when you decide to get divorced, only the $150,000 that went into that account during your marriage would be subject to division, and the $100,000 prior to your marriage would not be subject to division.
Okay, I think I get it now. Now, my other question is, how actually do the funds get divided? What's the process?
Usually, once you have an agreement, you request a special order from the probate and family court, and they issue what's called a qualified domestic relations order. We call that a quadro. And the quadro is usually prepared by the parties, or they can hire a consultant to prepare it, and that's how the funds actually get divided.
And I think a lot of people out there, they get a little nervous, they get a little confused when it comes to divorce, but it's imperative that people talk to a lawyer and they can talk to someone like you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That's your Legal Minute, and for more information, call 413-781-0750 or just visit CooleyShrair.com.